There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
Rockford Fosgate, known the world over for building purpose-built audio for decades. And when it comes to marine audio, it certainly is no exception. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's Connected, where we dive deep with Eric Russelll from Rockford Fosgate, all about marine audio. Thanks for tuning into this session of CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Rockford Fosgate, marine audio starts now. Hey, thanks for tuning in to another CMA Connected session here. We're continuing on our marine audio sessions theme. And of course, today we have landed on an OG, if you will, of marine audio, and that is Rockford Fosgate. So I mentioned at the top, we'll be joined by none other than Eric Russelll, who is their product expert, joining us today. And we're going to share and go through all the great goodies that they have within the marine audio lineup. But first, let's bring on our guest today from Automobility, who is their Canadian distributor, of course, our good friend Steve Colombe, who's their product manager. Hello
Hey,
again, Steve.
Hi, Ben. How's it going?
Oh, well, still talking about marine audio, but we've landed on a big one now. Like we've landed on, it's like marine, boom, here we are, Rockford Fosgate. OG is the best way I could say it, but not only OG, they always talk about how the products are purpose built. I know you're a big fan yourself with Rockford. I know you have that in your own car, but how exciting is this? Marine audio, Rockford Fosgate.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do an overview of, all the great products that we have to offer, and another great year ahead.
Let me ask you, Steve. I got to ask you. I know you're a fan of Rockford as well. Why do you think people are so attached to this brand?
They've been around for a while. I mean, when they started back mid 1970s, and since technically 1980, and then Rockford adapted a lot in the mid 2000s when the car audio scene changed, and they brought to the table a lot of new improvements as far as power sports, everything that's other than car audio.
Motorcycle, for example.
They've been pioneers in a lot of those categories, right? So us growing older, when we were back then car audio enthusiasts, who have more tools and toys to play with,
maybe
right?
A little bit more finances too to be able to
that
play.
Too. It depends on life decisions, but again, so that being said, a lot of great products offer outside of the car audio category, and marine and power sport have been really, really huge for Rockford in the last year. So
no
even
doubt.
for us, so
no doubt, it's a big line. We have the next hour to talk about it, but before that, I always like to set the mood, as I say. We got a great video that was provided to us from Rockford about their attendance at the Miami Boat Show. Let's take a look and get a taste of what Rockford Fosgate Marine Audio is all about.
nice.
Roll the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My favorite in that clip was little Shreddy at the end. You see that little that little thing that was wicked. But I mean, the cosmetics are there, the
Yeah.
applications are there. It's Rockford. I mean, I have to give flowers where flowers are due. When they do a demo vehicle, they do it right.
Yeah.
And I think that video right there just kind of gives us a taste of the level of which this brand executes on. So. I don't know. I think it's time. Let's go on and bring on our product specialist today.
Let's go.
He's also the senior digital strategist for Rockford Fosgate, and he's been with us before. We're happy to have him back. Reporting in directly from Arizona, Mr. Eric Russelll.
Great to see
What's
you
going
guys
on, Eric?
again.
Hey, it's always a
Very
good time when we're talking Rockford. I know Steve always gets excited for the Rockford sessions because, man, it's a big brand, right? There's no doubt about that. And Eric, I know, just real quick, you've been there for quite some time.
32 years. Yeah, it's been quite a ride, and it's been just an amazing company to work for. We really do get to come to work and play every day.
There's no doubt about it. Now, I said a keyword in the beginning of my little intro. You might have picked up on it. I said purpose built, and purpose built, I know, is I don't know. It's something sacred, right? At Rockford Fosgate, when it comes to any category that you guys commit yourselves to, marine is no exception.
Right. So that's what I want to talk today about, is how Rockford Fosgate differentiates itself from other marine audio products. And you're right. It is about how we design and engineer that product. And it's all done right here in Tempe, Arizona, in the desert. So we have a purpose-built approach to different segments. We have a purpose-built approach to car audio, to motorcycle audio. Marine audio is no different. We've got different acoustics and different methods. And so we're going to talk about that today. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, if you're dealers tuning in, whether you're watching this live or on demand, strap in, because Eric's going to put on a little education, as I call it, and we're going to learn why exactly Rockford is so hardcore when it comes to marine, and should definitely be something that you consider. So let's get into presentation mode. We have a presentation we're going to put up right now, and Eric and I, well, I'm going to leave it to you, Eric. Let's go ahead and get through this.
Let's jump right into Element Ready, the next slide. Yeah, so Rockford Fosgate builds the product purposely for the marine audio environment. So we don't just take a car audio product and repurpose it for marine audio. We don't change it white. We don't put a UV spray coating on it. It's actually molded into the product itself. So we have UV inhibitor materials, the DNA molded in. All the products are dust resistant. All of our PMX source units have wet bonded displays, so they're water tested. Thermal shock tested as well. So we actually have a shaker table in our headquarters here, and we can strap down any product that we want as we're developing the product to see if there's any parts that may vibrate that we need to pay attention to when we get to the end goal. And of course, everything is corrosion protected. We use stainless hardware where necessary, and I just spoke, it's vibration tested to make sure that it's going to last a long time in the marine environment.
Remind me in the future to bug you if you ever have a clip of that vibration test. I'd love to see the torture that you put some of this stuff through.
It is pretty cool. We actually developed it for one of our OEM partners, and it was just such an eye-opening way of developing a product. We use it for everything now.
Very, very cool. So dust resistant, UV inhibitors. You're not going to get a color shift, a season in or whatnot. Well, I noticed it's an IPX6 and it's water spray tested. So that's like continuous water stream on the product, right?
Right. So we have different levels of IPX ratings depending on what product you're looking at. Some will be 6, one will be 6, 7, some will be 7 only. So depends on the product, but we're making sure that you can use the product in the open air environment and not have any problem with dust, water, mud, UV rays. It's going to be protected and hold up.
Gotcha. And all this is all incumbent on a category that you guys called Element Ready.
Yeah, so that's Rockford Fosgate's proprietary word of saying, hey, we can use these products out in the open and you are protected against any sort of exposure. So that's Element Ready design.
Beautiful.
So Rockford Fosgate does carry a 2-year standard product warranty for all marine products. And what's really cool is all amplifiers, if you buy the matching Rockford Fosgate wiring kit, you get a free 1-year upgrade. So 2-year standard, 3-year additional 1-year upgrade on all amplifiers when you use the right wiring kit.
That's important to know because an extra year, that's 50% more warranty, right?
Yeah, it's a good value. So, the customer he's going to need to wire it up anyway. Why not use the correct wiring for the amplifier? That way he's getting the right amount of copper, because there are a lot of companies that produce wiring kits that have less copper but more insulation. So we spec to AWG standards. So you're going to get all the copper that you're expecting for great performance out of the amplifier.
All right.
So let's talk about source units. So PMX source units all feature a weather band tuner. So when you're out on the water and you're in a large body of water and you've got the family on the boat, you want to keep an ear on the weather conditions to make sure that you're not stranded out there. So all PMX source units come with a weather band tuner. They also all feature day-night display modes. So depending on the sunlight hitting the screen, you can change the display so that it's easier to read. And of course, all PMX source units. So this is historic Rockford Fosgate building of radios. When we did this with car audio source units, it's the same design standards as we're doing for marine audio. So the RCA outputs on all radios do not clip at full output. So you can turn it to max, you're going to get a good clean signal. And that's 2 volts RCA on the PMX 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 volts RMS on the larger units.
That's what I call kid proof. When the kid comes up and says, "Oh, it's a knob." No!
Right. You don't have to worry about,
Yeah.
where can I where's my system going to clip at? Where do I need to
100%.
keep the threshold at? So yeah, it's going to be keeping you covered no matter what.
Excellent.
And of course, what's really interesting is the PMX newer unit to the lineup is controllable directly through our RF Connect app. So you can control FM, weather band, your track list directly to the radio using your mobile device. Now this is available for Android and iOS, and we're going to be talking about RF Connect in detail just a little bit more.
Really handy when it comes to marine applications. So I know we'll circle back to that for sure. All right.
And then multi-zone. So Rockford Fosgate, we have multi-zone equipped radios. So the PMX5 can and the PMX8 allows you to divide up those sources into different zones if you have an upper and a lower deck. The PMX5 can is a 2-zone, 2-source unit, and the PMX8, the larger one on the top, has 4 zones. So you can do 4 active, 4 channels per zone. It gives you a lot of flexibility when you're designing an audio system for your watercraft.
Very nice. So built-in multi-zone control right at the head unit.
Yep. And the PMX5 can allows you to interface with the CAN device, so you can interface with the system's MFD control panel. So that way you can have a headless audio system and it's all controllable through the MFD itself.
Sweet.
So talking about amplifiers, we have 3 lines. We have the M2 series, the Punch, and then the newest to the lineup, which is our M5 series. So we can go ahead and go to the next one. And all of the amplifiers, of course, are element ready to some degree. The M5 newest amplifier has IPX6 water spray rating. And that's because it has a cover on the top and it has molded connectors that seal to the ends of the amplifier. So what's unique with Rockford Fosgate's amplifiers is we all incorporate clean circuitry. And clean circuitry is basically a clipping level setting system. So that way you can determine the clean amount of source coming from your radio to the amplifier. And then once you've got that as a clean threshold, you can determine how much gain you can use on the potentiometers so that you don't clip the outputs or do a certain level of gain overlap. So clean is our built-in clipping detection circuit. And of course, all the amplifiers feature balanced differential input. So if you've got noise emanating from a water pump or an engine that radiates into the audio line, it'll electrically cancel out on the inputs of the amplifier, so you always get a good, clean signal. So there's different topologies depending on which series you're looking at. The M2 feature Class D. The Punch is our most versatile amplifier line, and those are based on Class AB sound quality circuitry and the Class BD for the subwoofer amps. And then the M5, those are very compact. It's a proprietary Class AD technology. So we use that to get the amplifier smaller and smaller, so that way when you had smaller areas to install equipment, don't have a lot of area for bigger amplifiers, you can definitely use the M5 and they'll perform outstanding.
I got some questions for you here, Eric. It's a trend that I've kind of started noticing, so I would like to hear your input on this. You know, if you look at the two left amplifiers, the Punch and the M, those are classic, you know, type amplifiers that we've seen for quite some time as far as the shape and the way it looks, right? The footprint. I've noticed recently that a lot of brands are headed towards this more compact, more robust kind of chassis. Do you think that this is a trend that's going to continue going that direction?
For sure. If you've known Rockford Fosgate, you know we used to build big surfboard amplifiers, and those were great in the 90s because you needed to show, you know, how much power you had. Well, now cars are getting more compact. You've got a lot more electronics, a lot more features in automobiles and other vehicles. And the way to do it is just have a smaller chassis overall. That way you can slide an amplifier under the seat, behind a little pocket, and it still gives you an option to provide a lot of high power output for your audio system.
Yeah, and I also understand that, you know, these are cross category type product, right? I mean, element ready is element ready, right? Whether it's in a boat or in maybe a side-by-side, for example. I mean, this type of product, it makes it flexible. It's also very interesting for the dealer from an inventory perspective.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in the lineup. So depending on what the application is, you can use more than one of these in that, that application.
Okay, great.
So talking about Rockford Fosgate power output, we're historically known for producing more output than what the product is rated for. But don't take my word for it. Do a Google search on Rockford Fosgate amplifiers, underrated power, and you're going to get a lot of evidence out there from third-party groups that have tested our product and definitely can prove that our amplifiers generate more power than what we specify. So on the graphs you see there, the blue line is our continuous output power. Now that's designed to measure the amplifier with a sine wave on a test bench. So we get the continuous level, and that way we can compare apples to apples. Well, the CTA 2006 specification also added the dynamic power ratings. So this actually isn't new. We've been doing dynamic power ratings way back in the early 90s when we developed the Punch 60, 40, and 100 and 200 DSM amplifiers. We were publishing IHF 202 dynamic power ratings, which is a musical audio signal. And that's how you measure the output of the amplifier using what we would actually put in the application, music, right? We're going to listen to music, but we want to measure how much output power we're getting from the amplifier. So all amplifiers from Rockford Fosgate meet or exceed the continuous standard rating. And on the M5, we give those Rockford Fosgate sales teams on the show floor an option because the PVC that comes with the amplifier actually has both ratings right on it. So you'll see the continuous power output, and then you'll see the dynamic power output. And then depending on the customer, you can tailor your message to them so that way they can find the right amplifier for their system.
All right, very cool, Eric. Let's continue on with the presentation.
So what we want to focus on today is our Punch series amplifiers. So these are the most versatile amplifiers in the lineup. So they all use, of course, clean technology. They are built on sound quality circuitry, Class BD for the subwoofer models. And then, of course, they all utilize the balanced differential inputs like what we talked about before. But what's really cool is it gives you the ability to put this cover on the amplifier. So once you tweak and tune the system and get it dialed in, you can put the cover on, and then that way you don't have your customers adjusting those gain potentiometers because they're a volume knob, right? So that's what customers think. They get more output, which they're really just clipping the signal at that point. So it's got a nice security feature on it. And all the amplifiers utilize what's called high-level input, but with signal sensing. So if you've got a source unit that has DC offset, you won't need to run a special turn on wire. It can sense that DC offset on the speaker line outputs of the source unit and automatically trigger the amplifier on. And of course, all of these are conformal coated PC boards. So if you have moisture in the environment, it's not going to corrode any of the circuitry.
Very, very cool. Now, in true Punch fashion, I mean, that's it's got a lot to live up to. That name in itself is decades of heritage, right? So it's very clean design. I can only imagine the power output, as you were referring to before.
Yeah, I mean, the Punch level has been our bread and butter since Jim Fosgate's origination of the model lineup. And we're very proud to continue on his legacy by producing more output than what we rate it for. So it's a great amplifier lineup, the most versatile amplifier that have ever had in the history of the company.
Very cool.
So let's move over to our speaker lineup. We have 3 series, an M0, M1, and an M2. The M0 are an all element ready, non-illuminated. They're available in black and white. The M1 series steps you up to what Rockford Fosgate calls our color optics RGB control. So these are also available in black and white. And then the step up to that is our M2. Again, available in black and white, but we give you the option of including a stainless steel grill with it. So you can use it in sport mode or stainless mode.
Just before we continue here, I got to say the stainless one is almost worth, I don't care what it sounds like better. It just looks like that level up as far as elegance. And you can imagine on some of these higher level boat that we're installing on with the trim level, I think that is super elegant.
Yeah, it really allows you to cater the aesthetics to the customer's boats and make sure that everything matches just the way you want it.
All right. Are you going to be talking about color optics a little bit later here?
We are.
Okay, good. So I'll save my question about that in a second then. Oh,
so we want to talk about speaker technology, and all of the M2 and M1 speakers feature what's called a Deutsch connectors built into the frame. So you can connect directly into the frame itself without using any additional adapters. So here's for the RGB control, and then the speaker plus and minus. Now, if you don't want to use Deutsch connectors like this, they do have a seal on it as well for water protection, but you can still use this the spade terminals here, or you can use this to add on an additional tweeter. So what's really cool is we're going to show this in just a second, but these are the modular ones. This is an 8-inch that has a modular sport grill on it. And then I've also got the horn-loaded driver as well.
Very, very cool. Why would you not use the Deutsch connector?
We always use Deutsch connectors because it just makes it easier to wire up. You don't have
100%.
to worry about anything. You just plug and go.
Very cool. And I noticed that there is a patent on that interchangeable M2 grill system.
There is. So I think on our next slide, we show the actual grill patent. So it's switchable. I've got a demo right here. We've got our 6.5-inch. And so we can take off the sport grill and then put on the stainless grill option.
Oh, now I understand. Okay, gotcha. So, now, is that an option only for M2?
Only for M2 series. Yep, okay. It gives you both grills included in the kit. So you can choose whichever option looks best on your boat.
Perfect. Okay, let's get back to the presentation here. And here we go. Wake cans.
So the wake cans are the newest lineup in the marine audio product line from Rockford Fosgate. So we came out with Punch 8-inch loaded wake cans in both standard tweeter and horn-loaded high-efficiency tweeters. So you get about 3 dB more output with the horn-loaded drivers. This is great for if you have a wake boat or a ski boat. The person on the back of that tow rope can easily hear the audio. And what's super cool is the 3DIL illuminated logo on the very back. So what's really neat is not that it's just illuminated, but let's say you have to mount these at a different angle. You can rotate the Diamond R so that it's always oriented in the proper direction. So a really cool feature on these.
So when I install 8 of those across my bar or the back, they can all be lined up.
Yep. And they're 360-degree infinitely adjustable. So in any orientation, you'll be able to rotate this and get it all correctly aligned.
Excellent. Now, is the backlight also RGB?
Yes, it is. So they're all controlled through the same LED system. And we're going to be talking about the PMX RGB here in just a few minutes, right?
All right, great. So these are the M2 weight cans.
Yes, the weight cans are only available as an M2 product line.
Okay.
It gives the best features, the best aesthetics for a weight can because those are the most visible. So we want to get our best foot forward on weight cans.
From a dealer perspective, what seems to be more popular, the horn-loaded far distance or the regular standard style tweeter?
We're actually getting a lot of both. A lot of people who love sound quality use the traditional tweeter, but man, we are just seeing an explosion of customers wanting the horn-loaded drivers. You know, when they're back on the end of that rope, you know, getting towed, behind a ski or wake boat, they want to be able to hear that music clearly. And the horn-loaded definitely doesn't disappoint.
Or they just want to be loud and have fun and want everybody to know they're there.
Go big or go home, right?
Go big or go home, right? All right.
So we also have the M2 add-on tweeter. So if you like the sound quality of the traditional tweeter, you can use the horn-loaded tweeter add-on kit. So all M1 and M2 speakers allow you to add on this additional tweeter kit. So it comes with the bell housing, which is great for SPL output. And it also comes with the flush mount kit as well. And of course, it comes with an 18 dB per octave audiophile grade crossover. So that way you get the best audio going from your amplifiers to both speakers.
Help me understand what the application of this for. Why is there a need to add an additional tweeter?
Just like the horn-loaded drivers, where the horn is built into the speaker itself, we got a lot of customers that wanted to have more output on the traditional speakers. So we designed this one. It's the same tweeter that's built into the speaker itself, but it just gives you a bell housing. So it's really good for dispersing the frequencies better. And yeah, so we just had a lot of requests for an additional tweeter because they want it to be even louder, like what we just talked about.
Even louder. You see that theme? Just keeps on. It's all about getting loud. All right.
All right. So this is the secret sauce of what makes Rockford Fosgate Marine Audio different from everyone else. We purpose built the frequency response. We build a special tune for the environment. So when you're looking at an automobile, you have plastic, glass windows. Now those reflect high frequencies very well. Well, when we're in a watercraft with an open air environment, you don't have any of those reflective surfaces. And as we know, high frequencies don't travel as far as low frequencies. So even if you did have a top on, it's probably a fabric top. Now those are going to absorb, not reflect. So what we do is we purpose build the frequency response so that it's easier to hear the audio. And basically what this is it allows you to hear your mids, your percussions, your vocals. It's going to allow you to hear it much better in an open air environment. And that's why we say we're purpose built.
Down to the tuning, not just the physical mechanics, but the actual tuning of the speakers, which is pretty interesting to note.
Yeah, and Automobility can show you, when you're going to compare a speaker side by side in a marine environment, go to your dealer, go to your local dealer and actually listen to them side by side. I can guarantee you that the customer is always going to smile when he listens to a Rockford Fosgate driver.
All right. All right.
All right, and subwoofers. We have a better and a best series, our M1 and M2. Very similar to the speakers. The M1 feature black and white color optics versions, and then the M2 has the additional stainless steel grille that's included in the kit. And same with the speakers, we have Deutsch connectors built into the frame of the subwoofers. But what's really cool with the subs is we have a Versa switch. And this allows you to wire your DVC subwoofers without the headache of phase and wiring diagrams. So if you got a DVC 2 ohm, you switch between 1 ohm or 4 ohm. If you've got a DVC 4 ohm, you switch between 2 ohm and 8 ohm. So it makes it really easy to configure the system and get your system up and running real quick.
So good for inventory. It just makes it easier. And wow, really slick. Just a switch on the back. That's it. No wires, no extra tap. You know what I mean? No configurations. That's it. That's all. Very nice feature. I really like that one.
Yeah, the high current switch, it makes it really easy.
Mm-hmm.
So subwoofers are available in both 10-inch and 12-inch. We're focusing on the 12-inch here because I've got a nice frequency response graph after this. But you can see that we have different applications. We have infinite baffle and sealed drivers. So the main difference cosmetically is really none. It's the magnet structure and how we have tailored the BL, the motor strength of the voice coil assembly. So you can see there's a little bit difference mounting depth between the sealed and the infinite baffle models. It's about, what, 7 millimeters or so.
Mm-hmm.
But the same great power handling, same impedance options available in both the 10-inch and the 12-inch.
Very nice. Also color optics.
Also color optics.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get to looking at some really cool color optic stuff here in just a moment. And this is what the frequency response looks like between an infinite baffle and a sealed. So if you're looking for a wider, flatter response, use the infinite baffle subwoofer. If you're looking for more punchier bass, use the subwoofer designed for sealed applications. So we recommend on the 10-inch, half a cubic foot, and for the 12-inch, 0.75 cubic feet. And again, these are purpose built so that the frequency response is better tuned for that outdoor environment.
That are some pretty small specs though for some sealed 12s and 10s.
Yeah, that's why we designed them, because we figure, well, a lot of people like that punchier bass, so why not give it to the customers? They're asking for it, we'll deliver.
Sweet. Ah,
here we go, the RGB controller. So this is our version of an RGB controller. So the PMX RGB allows you to drive 8 speakers natively. You can connect up to 16 if you're using Y adapters. And the max cable length we recommend is 100 foot. Of course, these do work on voltage systems up to 24 volts, so it gives you a little bit more compatibility. And these are app configurable with the RF Connect iPhone app and Android app.
Very nice. Very clean. I like the connectors. And I'm curious to see this application that you're talking about here. There we are.
Here we are, RF Connect, right? It's our universal app interface for the PMX1 and our RGB system. Again, it's available for iOS and Android. It allows you to interactively change the color on all your RGB connected devices. So you can use this with other light bars as well, not just with Rockford.
I was just going to say, so that's compatible with, let's say, my floor lights or whatever else I might have going on.
Yeah, we're following the same standard codes that everybody else has contributed to. So that way you can use one device for all your RGB controls. And it allows you 30 different presets of different effects. If you've got a party going on, you can do the blink, or you can do the nice transitional fade. And it allows you to adjust the speed and the brightness of the LEDs. So if it gets, in the darker evenings, you may want to, lighten that up just a little bit so it's not as bright.
Very neat.
And our remote control, our universal Bluetooth remote for iOS and Android. So what this allows you to do is control your mobile device. So you can control your volume up, down, track forward, reverse. It's a really nice, convenient handheld device.
Wait, sorry. What did you say? This isn't for the head unit.
Not for the head unit. You can use it with any phone that has Bluetooth.
Oh, I see. So this could be, my phone could be tucked away, charging or something, or wherever. And I can keep my hand on the steering wheel and control my Bluetooth. That's actually the source is my phone from this remote steering wheel remote. That's what we're saying?
You can, Ben. And it gives you both interfaces in the box. So you can do either the handheld version, or it gives you the strap so that you can connect it to the steering wheel itself. So it does control your mobile device, which your mobile device is Bluetooth streaming, to your PMX source unit or other source unit.
Nifty. That's the first one I've seen like that. That's very nice. Very cool.
And I couldn't go without talking about the remote. So this PMX1R remote actually looks like a PMX2 or a PMX3. It's still a wet bonded display. It gives you remote control if you need to extend that out to the front or the rear of the boat. It's really great for volume control. It allows you to see the album art as it's displaying on the main unit. It's a great little remote. We sell a ton of them. You shouldn't be selling a PMX unit without a remote with it.
Every one of these models shown here are all full color displays?
Yes, they are. The only one that's not, it's only a dot matrix, is the PMX1, that first one that we introduced. But the 2, 3, 5 can, the 8 BB and DH, they're all full color screen. And the PMX1R supports that full color display as well.
Very nice. Makes it a one touch up, when you have that nice clean color display.
And with that, I'm going to hand this over to Steve at Automobility, our partner for the Canadian territory.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and get Steve back on. I think we're done with the presentation here, and let's have some dialogue here, because that was a lot of information to take in, right? So, Steve, obviously a big line, certainly a full line, when it comes to the entire range, right? Source unit, amplifiers, subwoofers, not just amplifiers, 3 different lines of amplifiers, subwoofers, full range, tower speakers, lighting controls, remote, the whole 9. So what has been kind of like the go-to? What has been really popular for dealers that are interested in taking a look at this line?
Well, listen, last year everything was selling because of the madness of the situation. We had a lot of I guess all products sell very good. I'm glad we went through the whole lineup this year. I know last year we focused more on the newer products, which is fine too. But some of them were left a bit aside, and that's why this year, when we talked to Eric, we wanted to do a good refresh on all the brand, because the punch amps are still right up here. I mean, the lot of power output, and when you do a lot of those higher wattage required installs, and those M2 can handle a lot of power, and to drive those M2 horn cans, I mean, the punch is still there. It's been there, like Eric said, for a long time, and
it's also a recognizable brand. Like if the guy's running Rockford punches in his trunk, he's going to want Rockford punches on his boat. That's just the way it is. A couple of things I noted here that I thought were really, really cool. I mean, I like the good, better, best scenarios. I think that's an easy way to position the product in a showroom setting, right? But I think Eric, I can't remember if Eric or Steve said it, but this is the type of stuff you got to have in stock. You got to have it on display. You got to hear it. They got to play with it. There's a cool display behind Eric there. I'm sure Automob has other solutions for displays, but with anything marine audio, especially when it's around the themes of fun and loud, let them play with it. Let them hear it. Tell them to walk back 30 feet and hear these horn drivers, on those cans. So a couple takeaways here. I really, really do like the smaller footprint amps. I think that squeezes into a lot of locations that were not really available before for decent power. Now, of course, the punch amps do offer beefy power for sure, but for the average size vessel, let's call it, not the super yacht, because not everybody has a super yacht vessel, but there are medium sized vessels that want great sound. I think those could be a good option. The color optics, of course, is a win, especially if you can tie it into the rest of the RGB system lighting in your vessel. But I was very impressed with the offering from a source unit perspective, Steve.
Yeah,
quite deep.
It is, and the current situation, everyone's aware that over the world electronics, there's a lot of issues with supply. Rest assured, we have a lot of incoming shipments. We're working closely with the guys in the US, and right now we are looking very good in stock. We have a lot of shipments that are lined up in the following month, so we should be looking very good for this summer. So
very good. So inventory check. Great new product. I talked about the source units. I should have mentioned before, but what kind of different inputs are there available from the source unit to interact? So you have Bluetooth. Is there Sirius XM as well?
So the PMX5 and 8 does support Sirius XM as well, and Pandora radio.
And Pandora on top of that. Okay, so you got flexible options there for sure. I think there should be a little side note here for that little remote. I've never seen that before. That's super cool. I'm talking about that steering wheel remote that connects to your phone. Very, very nice piece. Other than that, Steve, when it comes to the towers,
yes,
I'm sure there's a price, incrementation between the zeros, the ones, and the twos, or the speakers. What do you think is the biggest thing? Is it the aesthetics, or is it the power that really makes it worth the money to go up that level?
The power. Listen, a lot of dealers last year used the M2s for the first time, and the feedback we got was, "Wow, where does that come from?" You're used to hear a coax or a wake can, and everyone was overwhelmed with the power that those M2s put out. It's not even because we represent the product, but everyone was overwhelmed. I mean,
Wow.
it's a very, very powerful speaker. It handles a lot of wattage. So
very, very cool. And Eric, if you had to ask one recommendation, or if I can ask you one recommendation, I might be a dealer. I'm interested in calling Automob up or yourselves. What do I start with if I want to get involved? Like, is there a starting point? What kind of product would you recommend to me to start with that for sure my customers would be, really excited to have and I could offer?
Well, really, the Punch lineup offers the best amplifier available on the market and in our history. So there's a lot of flexibility with the Punch amplifiers. And really, you can't go wrong with the M1 or M2. I mean, I would say definitely get one of each, the M1 and the M2, and put those into your display boards. When customers hear the M2 speaker, I can't tell you how many times I've heard I was instantly sold once I heard them.
Really?
So those are a great starting point for any dealer.
Well, there you hear it, folks. If you're going to play with Rockford on the marine side of things, make sure you check out that M2 because apparently it's the deal. Not just because I heard it, but you heard it right here. These two guys said it. So anyhow, Eric, can't thank you enough for coming on today, coming to us direct from Rockford Fosgate, sharing with us the knowledge, going through the entire line with us and sharing with us a little bit of the insight that you have being there for, what did you say, 32 years?
It's 32 years, but who's counting, right? When you're
I am. That's crazy. You need an award. I don't know anybody in the industry that's been working at a brand for 32 years. That's crazy. Congratulations on that.
Well, it says a lot about the company and how well all the employees are treated here. So it's great stuff.
Very impressive.
You know what? You've been purpose-built to work there, I think.
I'm not as purpose-built as Steve. I don't have the beard, and that is purpose-built.
This is true. This is true. The only thing I will say is you'll notice the longer Steve's beard gets, the lower the buttons go. That's kind of what I've noticed. Yeah, exactly. Eric, thank you so much, man. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah.
Eric is a wealth of knowledge, Steve. I'm so happy to have him on. And you're right. We didn't get a chance to do this entire lineup presentation last time. I'm happy we got a chance to do that. If you guys
so much
tuning
to cover, in,
Yeah, no, there's so much to cover. But we're here. We're in Marine Sessions. We need to know everything that is available so that the dealers can make a right decision. They know to contact Automobility in Canada if you want some Rockford Fosgate Marine goodness, or anything Rockford Fosgate for that matter. So make sure you hit up Automob. On that note, Steve, good news. Some good inventory. You're confident about it. I know last year you weren't as necessarily as confident. This year you look much more confident.
Yeah, we started, it's a bit crazy, but we started preparing 2022 in end of May last year. So we were straight in the middle of the last year's season, and we were preparing this year. So we brought in inventory earlier because we knew that there was a need that needed to be addressed early in the season to avoid what happened a bit last year. There was some unexpected delays, production, shipping, and that goes for everyone.
Things are looking good this year. Let's move forward.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Thanks a lot, Steve. That was a good one. Hope the dealers appreciate that because Rockford Fosgate, purpose built, cool stuff. Thank you for tuning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks again, man.
Take care, Steve. There you have it, guys. That's a wrap for this CMA Connected, all about Rockford Fosgate Marine Audio, purpose-built, as you heard. I want to give a shout out to Eric Russelll for taking the time to join us today and educating us. So on that note, I want to remind you to continue tuning into the CMA Networks because we are continuing with our marine audio sessions. They are going to continue right through to March 30th. Not March 30th, what am I saying? It's going to go right through, let me see, it's 10 days. So April 6th, that's where it's going to. If you haven't had the chance yet, make sure you check out our website, cmanetworks.com. You see it on the bottom there. Brand new website, guys. Easy search options. Find your favorite content either by brand or by trainer even by category. Search marine. See what comes up. Get your learn on. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in today to another CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.